Good morning, students. How is everything? How is the day? I'm very sure we are moving on well. Today, we want to go quickly into our lesson, measurement of growth and development. That is, human growth and development. So in this lesson, by the end, we will be able to, number one, define human growth and development. 2, explain the characteristic features of developmental stages. Number 3, classify growth and developmental changes. Number 4, explain factors affecting growth and development. So let's start right now. What is growth? Growth is a permanent increase in size of an organism due to increase in number of cells. We know that cell is a unit of life in our body. If a body has no cell, the body will not exist. So, and when this cell is active, it multiplies. We call it what? Cell division. And that will make what? Us to grow, both internally and externally. It's permanent thing. It's not temporary. Then what is development? Development is a series of orderly changes by which a living thing comes into maturity. That is a gradual process, leads to maturation of what? Organisms. Like their behavior of individual. Before you know, a small boy who was crying before with a little thing, now will not cry again. We have a bone face. Also, we'll be able to socialize very well with others because his emotional body is what is developing. And also able to learn one thing and the other. That's what we call what? Development. If human being is not doing that, we find out what? The parent of that boy or the parent of that child will be disturbed, and we say, the child is not developing and is not what? Growing. So look at this picture. Which stage are you? Are you a child? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stages there. From a child that is crawling to an old man walking with a stick. Which stage are you? Size yourself there. Now, growth and developmental changes. This is noticeable in the size of the body. Tall, short, fat, like that. So growth can be determined by measure of height and weight at time interval. That is growth. Your height and weight at time what? Interval. You weigh 20 kilograms, 50 kilograms, another time again, 40 kilograms. While developmental changes can be observed by appearance of certain characteristic features and capabilities. Like when a boy is developing, his voice will become what? Deep. Yes. And you see some things on him. The same thing, the girls, when the girl is developing, you see what? Some things what? On her. So development leads to transition from one stage of life to another. E.g., a baby develops from infancy to childhood, then to adolescence and adulthood. Developmental changes are progressive and move from simple to complex. From simple to complex reasoning, handling things, do everything. You can see when somebody is developing, he can do many things with what? Within a very short time. Yes. Then what are the features? You see, developmental what? Features. The developmental changes are characterized by certain features, which includes, number one, infancy and childhood. We say also puberty and what? Juvenile. Number three, adolescence. Number four, adulthood. You can see the picture from a newborn baby, and when it's 2 years, and when he is what? 6 years. So different parts of the body growth at different rates. This is called allometric growth. The way our legs are growing is not the way our heads are growing. The way our hands are growing is not the way our mouth is growing. They grow at different rates. One question for students will be, why does the brain need to grow so quickly at the start of development? This is a question for you that I would like you to think about. Why is it that our brain grow faster, quickly at the start of development? Now, let's take it one by one now. Those features. Infancy and childhood. Infancy lasts from birth to around 2 years. Childhood is a stage from birth to puberty. After infancy, child can walk, run, and speak in simple sentences. Simple sentences. Come, I want to drink water. I want to sleep. My name is so and so. So that's the characteristics of infancy. So childhood is characterized by light body weight, simple size, very rapid growth, particularly in the first 2 years of life, very active body, and restless. You can see a child of 2, 3, 4, the way they are restless. They cannot stay somewhere. They move about. That's why their parents normally clear the way for them. Anything that will like to injure them, they were put out of the way. So you can see the developmental stages. Newborn, 2 years, 6 years, 12 years, and what? 20 years. Now we move now. The puberty stroke juvenile. This is the transition stage from childhood to adolescence. And around the age of 9 and 10 years, they become more independent and start noticing the physical changes of puberty. That is, at this stage, the body begins sexual what? Development. This also can be a time of stress for children as peer pressure takes its toll. Peer pressure is a time when a child copies things from his peer group. That is, their group have influence more on them because they start seeing some changes in their body. The way of their body moving, their body is now beginning to be active as before. So in them you see some things like their voice, like air in some part of their body. So what changes happen to male during puberty? So write those things there and let me see it later. And what changes happen to male during puberty? So these are the things I want you to watch, to take notice of. Then adolescence. This is the stage between adulthood from age 12 to 18 years, adolescence. Because what? Teen years. Distinct mental and physical changes occur. Adolescents may become more self-centered. They think more about themselves. In middle of late adolescence, teenagers are often characterized as becoming more comfortable with their body sexually and ready to have romantic friendship. That is, at that stage, the late stage, 15, 16, 17, those girls or those children will be attracted to the opposite sex more, because their sexual organs, their sexual things are developing in their body. Yes, we call it crisis stage. This is it. Say, what are the 5 main stages of human life? So they tell us what I want you to think about. Then we move to adulthood. This is the stage of full maturity. It is often noticed when a person is considered chronologically, legally, and behaviorally ready to hold responsibilities, such as operating a motor vehicle, voting, taking the vows of marriage, entering into contracts, and serving in the army forces. So these are the stages. This is a stage that you'll be held responsible for what you do in life, because they will tell you that you are an adult. You are not a child again. You are responsible for everything. That is, you are ready to have life partner. You are ready to build a house for yourself to live in. You are ready to leave your parents and stay on your own and determine what happens to your life. So these are the things, these are the stages of developmental growth and the features that accompany those stages. Now, classification of growth and developmental changes. There are 2. We have temporary changes, then permanent changes. So temporary changes, these include growth in pimples in male and female at adolescence, fatness, enlargement of stomach after a meal, and intake of water. These changes are usually due to food intake. You can see that at starting stage in adolescent, pimples will be coming out on their faces. They are temporary. When they eat or when they drink water, their stomach will come out and say, you are having pot belly. No, those are temporary. Before you can have a pot belly, you become adult. So other temporary changes are bedwetting, sweating, and rise in body temperature. So temporary changes may naturally disappear after some time. Pimples will disappear, sweating will disappear, restlessness will disappear. All those will disappear with time, and they can be corrected medically or by change in behavior. That a child that is bedwetting, you can reduce his water intake can be reduced. Yes, so that he will not be bedwetting again. That is, he will not be allowed to drink water in the evening time like that. He will be reduced so that it can stop bedwetting. Now we move to what? Permanent changes. These are changes that remain for life and not reversible. Features that are associated with each of the human developmental stage of childhood, adolescent, and adult are permanent change and remain with individual throughout life. Some examples include walking, talking, and teeth growing. Yes, when like somebody that when she was in the womb of her parents, that I know, her parent, the mother, was ill and was taken to a hospital and he was given chloroquine. And before we know, when the child was born, the teeth of that child became yellow. That's the teeth milk. They thought that what? By the time the teeth milk removed, the white teeth will come out. Alas, when the teeth milk removed and the permanent teeth comes now, everything yellow. No soap, no toothpaste could wash it. So these are some of what? Of permanent changes that occur in man. So what are the factors now that affect growth and development? Number one, food. The food we eat affects our growth and our development. Also, heredity. There are something we inherit from our parents that affect our growth. Also, diseases. Disease can affect our growth. Disease can make our growth to be retarded, not to grow as it's supposed to grow, as it's supposed to be. So these are the what? Factors that affect growth and development. Now, in summary, from what we have been saying, growth is temporary change, while development is a permanent change. Know that. Development is a series of changes that occur during growth. Know that also. The stage of developmental changes are infancy, childhood, puberty / juvenile, adolescence, and adulthood. Then some examples of temporary changes are bedwetting, sweating, rise in the body temperature, while permanent changes include walking, talking, teeth growth. Then the last one is food, heredity, and diseases are some factors that affect growth and development. And I want us to have this our class activities. Just one. Look at it. One of the characteristics of an adolescent is adolescent behavior often include the teenager's need to pull away from parents and authority, figure to establish their own self-identity, and make decisions on their own. Do you understand it now? Let me take it again. Adolescent behavior often includes the teenager's need to pull away from parents and authority, figures to establish their own self-identity and make decisions on their own. Now the question now is, explain 3 possible consequences of this behavior. 3 consequences of this behavior. Thank you very much. As we have seen, the growth Which stage of growth and development are you? Size yourself. Then I have the assignments. List and explain 3 other factors that affect growth and development. So, these are the things you should know now concerning human growth and development. Thank you very much. God bless you. The notes and this video is always there for you to listen to it. And make sure you copy the notes in your notebook for our attestation. Thank you very much. God bless you.